This morning I wanted to say a few words on an issue that many of my Republican colleagues talk about, and that is family values. But I wanted to talk about it in a slightly different manner. When my Republican colleagues talk about family values, what they are talking about is opposition to a woman's right to choose, opposition to contraception, opposition to gay rights. Let me give a somewhat different perspective on family values, on what real family values are about. It seems to me that there is no family value stronger than a mother having a baby and having the right to spend weeks and months with her baby. Every psychologist who has studied the issue understands that the most important years of a human being's life are the first weeks and months and years. And mothers want to spend time with their babies, fathers want to spend time with their babies, and yet the United States of America is the only major wealthy industrialized country that does not guarantee that right to a mom with the kids. That is a family value. If there's anything that's a family value, that is one, and that has got to change. The United States has got to join the rest of the industrialized world, and that is why I strongly support legislation introduced by Senator Gillibrand, which would allow a 12 weeks for parental leave so that moms can spend time with their babies and for other healthcare needs. Second area where the United States falls far behind other countries in a rather absurd way is that we have a situation where people in this country, by the millions, have no guaranteed sick leave. So what that means is that today a worker here in Washington, D.C. or any place around this country is going to work at McDonald's who should not be at work. And especially in areas like the food industry, sick people are handling our food. And the reason for that is that they do not have any paid sick leave. And what we understand is that while larger companies will provide paid sick leave to workers, many low-income workers do not have that benefit. The United States must join the rest of the world in guaranteeing at least a certain amount of time for paid sick leave, which is why I'm supporting Senator Patty Murray's bill, which does just that. But last but not least, I want to talk about a bill that I'm going to be introducing today, and it's on an issue that gets almost no discussion at all. And that is that in America today, our people, the American worker, is working longer hours than other people of any other major industrialized country. As some of you may remember or have read about, 100 years ago, there were workers in the street, took to the streets, demanding a 40-hour work week, 100 years ago. And here we are today, living in a country which has seen an explosion of technology, an explosion of productivity, and we still do not have the 40-hour work week. In fact, incredibly, 85% of men and 60% of working women are working more than 40 hours a week. What we have in my state and around this country are people not working one job, they're working two jobs, occasionally they're working 3 or 4 jobs in order to cobble together an income and some health care. And the fact of the matter is that Americans now work by far the longest hours of any major country on earth, 137 hours a year more than workers in Japan, who are also very hard workers, 260 hours more than the British, and almost 500 hours a year more than French workers. So we have a situation where, one, because of the disappearing middle class, because wages have gone down, people have got to work longer hours in order to put bread on the table for their families, and yet we are the only major country on earth that does not guarantee paid vacation time. And that is the legislation that I am introducing today. And that legislation would require employers to provide at least 10 days of paid vacation to workers in this country. Clearly, this is already done in almost every country in the world and is one way to demonstrate a serious commitment to family values. Think about what it means to a family when a wife and a husband do not have a block of time, a week, 2 weeks, to spend with their kids. So I think we have got to address this issue. As I go around the country, what I notice is that we are a stressed out nation. People are tired, people are exhausted, people are overworked, people need vacation time. And it is absolutely absurd that nearly 1 in 4 workers in this country get no paid vacation time. And while we have seen some companies do a really good job in understanding the need for paid vacation for their workers, that increases morale, increases productivity, that certainly is by no means universal. So when we compare ourselves to wealthier countries in Europe, Australia, Canada, Japan, New Zealand, we discover that the United States is the only country that does not require employers to provide at least 10 days of paid vacation time, and that has got to be remedied, that has got to be addressed, and that is exactly what our legislation does. So bottom line here is we need in this country a serious discussion of family values, real family values. And family values are about the ability of a mom to be able to spend time with a newborn baby and not be forced back into the workplace because she doesn't have enough money. Family values are about a mom being able to take care of a sick child and not forcing that kid to go to school when he or she should not be going to school. And lastly, family values are about the ability of a family to spend some leisure time together in a relaxed environment. So we lag behind many, many other countries, virtually every major country on earth in all of these areas. And we've got to turn that around. We've got to start standing up for real family values and protect the working families of this country. Thank you very much. Any questions? Yes, sir. Well, in terms of the Family and Medical Leave Act, that will be paid for by a 0.2% increase in the Social Security tax on both worker and the employer. Yes, sir.
So Republicans have been said they don't want mandates on vacation and sick leave. They prefer incentives like some sort of tax incentives or something like that. Do you see a path forward where you could get some bipartisan support for something?
I think the American people do want these programs, and the American people increasingly understand that there is something wrong when every other major country is guaranteeing sick time, the parental leave time, paid vacation time. And I think the American people are going to be speaking out clearly on this, and I think the Republicans at some point will begin to listen to the American people. Yeah.
Senator, you talk about family values
Yes.
as the sort of basis of this, and as we all know, it's the Republicans who tended to use that language for a very long time.
Yes.
How did progressives lead the debate on that, and are you trying to reappropriate that?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to do. All right? I understand there are people, I happen to have a lifetime voting record of 100% pro-choice, and I happen to believe in gay marriage and gay rights. That's my view. Other people disagree. I understand that. But if you really talk about family values, what does family values mean? Can you honestly tell me that it is a family value when a woman is forced back to work after giving birth 1 week after that birth? Is that a family value? Is it a family value when a parent cannot take care of a sick child and doesn't have the guarantee and the right to do that? Is it a family value? Talk about family values. When people think back about their lives, what do you think about? You think about the vacation time you spent, moms and dads spent with their kids. And yet you got millions of workers who have no paid vacation time at all. Those are real family values, and you're right. I intend to appropriate that language to really talk about the family values that matter to the American people.